Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Hippo Cup. Here we are with our bracket stage proper, going to be matalisbaldspot versus Hippo Cup GIF. Hippo Cup GIF having a tough outing last week against one of the toughest return with regards to Catball, who ended up beating them in a 7-2 effort. matalisbaldspot as well, falling to the wayside in a sweep due to some missing players, but both of these teams in the losers bracket looking to stay alive in this cup. My name is Hubba, and on at the how are you feeling about the matchup?
I'm feeling quite excited for this matchup. This is, I mean, even though both these teams have been knocked down to the losers bracket, both these teams have some very competent and very strong players. So I think it's gonna be a very fun matchup between these two teams, especially on a map pool like this. So I'm quite excited to see it. I have some maps I'm hoping to see because I didn't get to see them last time. I think it was yesterday when I was commentating. I'm hoping to see the Hard Rock one get played. It's probably one of my favorite maps in the pool that isn't the free mod 3, so I'm hoping to see those at least. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the pick ban play that these teams are going for. Yeah,
this Hippo Cup GIF team is really solid on those kind of gimmicky skill sets. Looking at players like MyJD, Loot, some of the best reading players in Canada and in the game proper. MyJD really stand out in some 4-digit 1v1 tournament. He is failing 5th place in the dramatic stage when that was happening. That was like the only 1v1 4-digit tournament last year. So it was really solid showing from them. So excited to see them play. And matalisbaldspot, they are going to be bringing the skill cap to the table. Looking at players like Goose, Zimby, and Darwin, who is hidden on Osu. Those three players are really knocking on the door of those World Cup teams and are really strong all-rounder. Especially Darwin having been able to access the map he wants is such a boon for that roster. So I'm excited to see how they play, and they're going to fill out some of the rosters given that it was available. They did mention that they do have everyone this time. Not gonna be dealing with any missing player.
Yeah, I can say running last time where they had a few missing players, it did cause a few problems for them. But you know, having the full roster this time is going to be quite the benefit for them now. They can actually be able to play with their full power, and hopefully not having as a misfortunate of a result as they did last time. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, a bit of the change they're bringing in this time. But for the first ban going towards Hippo Cup GIF, we're going to be seeing the DT2 getting banned this time around, getting rid of Turi Pantere.
Turi Pantere, just that quick minute 30. It's a hard map to be confident in because the OD is a little alarming. You play the map and you think this is just your standard 25 BPM low situation, but that OD 8.8 plus double time is somewhere around 10.4, 10.5. Really tricky to act, so if you are not feeling comfortable in that regard, or if you're feeling like you don't have the full shred capability, that is going to be the play. But with these bans, that is a shocking first ban to come spot, getting rid of HR4, Hard Rock Slider aim pick. It is really gimmicky, but I think Orange Goose Zimby would kind of have a ball with that sort of fast-paced Hard Rock. I was kind of anticipating like double reading bans on No Mod 5. No Mod 5, 3 Mod 1, but they do have KTO9 on that team, who was one of the standout easy hidden players on the United States East Cup team last year. They do have one backup reading player in the pocket, counts, leaving those maps open probably for that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sad to see the Hard Rock 4 go. I like my position maps, you know, I've always enjoyed watching them, and I always enjoy playing them, but if you're not comfortable on, you know, CS 6.5, it's an understandable ban, to say the least. And, in, I believe, in general, we're seeing a bit of a gloat coming in from Skier with the free mod 3 hidden full combo getting top 45 global on it, which is definitely a statement to be made before the ban phase is even over.
Yeah, I assume that's the reason why they aren't banning that map and instead going for the Hard Rock 1 ban. The DT2 Great Red Mechanic and the Hard Rock 1 Bang. Incredibly classic, loved map, millions of plays to its name. Known for its high BPM aim diff spikes. 4 standout sections in that one, and the gambling nature not going to be going in favor of Hippo, given the amount of Hard Rock aim prowess on that side. Gonna be that ban come through. And if the HR4 was any indication, I suppose HR2, you see, they banned one, they banned both of those Hard Rock sort of heckish slider map. Admittedly, the precision on that Hard Rock 4 I didn't really feel in playtesting. It was more just like trying to aim the slider ticks and hope for the best, really. So, yeah, it's like the nature of Hippo Cup pool is the kind of maps that you're just not gonna see average turn. matalisbaldspot not really feeling comfortable with the chaos with that. Waiting their second one. It is the HR2. Both of them will go into the wayside. It is going to be their first pick up next. Meaning, I wouldn't be surprised immediately see them jump into like the deep, where it's just the most comfortable DP. They are one of the stronger all-rounder with Orange Goose, Zimby, Darwin, and Bungwung in their kinds of maps. Really strong core for.
Yeah, I mean, again, with it being Hippo Cup, there's a lot of variety in the map pool. But yeah, I feel like DT1 is definitely a solid starting position for them to go into. It's a solid starting map, you know. Still on the longer end, a bit more consistency, about 2 minutes 57, but 270 BPM jumps, if I'm not mistaken. And overall, just nothing too crazy or too uncomfortable for a lot of the players. And I feel like that's definitely one of the stronger starting maps they can go with. But I feel like, again, with, you know, Hippo Cup being Hippo Cup, there's still so much they can roll into. Hell, with pretty much all the Hard Rocks being banned and one left on the table, they could even just go into the Hard Rock just to get it over and done with early in.
They're aura farming the Talk General VC channel. Most of Team matalisbaldspot is in that VC now, including Matalis himself, who I don't believe has played a map in this tournament yet. So they actually do have everyone today. I am curious to see how that will turn out, as they are all in that VC as we speak. And the first pick is going to be No Mod 1.
Oh yeah, this No Mod 1 was not. I mean, it's a good map. It's a banger pick, but it was not the thing I expected to be picked in so early. From what I remember this map, it's a lot of jumps, a lot of bursts at the 215 BPM range, and it's just kind of, it's not uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable. It just kind of fits in that weird range where some parts are going to be easy to hit, some parts are going to be difficult to combo, and it's just going to be based on a lot of consistency on those harder sections, I feel.
Yeah, this is a really curious one because it's CS 2.8, but the spacing on some of the bursts are so wide. And it varies. Like, you have some hexagonal flow patterns, some straight linear patterns. And as well, you just have the cross-screen jumps in between. It's such a varied map, and significantly less gamble than something like that DT1 is with regards to accessibility, especially. I actually, like, thinking about this pick more, I do like this a lot for matalisbaldspot. You don't get the boon that you would get with something like your Hard Rock Comfort, the lower CS, but everything else is really screaming, like, hybrid mechanics, hard to access. The perfect kind of thing that you want to pick into a team that is, for all intents and purposes, mostly a gimmick roster on the side of Hippo.
Yeah, and yeah, like I say, going into the fact that it doesn't feel like it'd be the most expected starting pick, but if they're feeling confident on it and they want to just go into something a bit more mechanical, then I mean, I do rate it, and especially with the fact that Skier especially does seem to be pretty confident on mechanics right now. Maybe, you know, just doubling down and just going straight into it and seeing what happens on the mechanics side of things. And I mean, they have players that are going to be capable of it, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, to say the least.
Yeah, roster for Cup gift coming in. Red, Easy Chalk, Birch, yeah, I do believe Birchman, Skia likely to be taking Hiddens. Maybe? No, it is top row for Hippo Cup gift. And left column for matalisbald. Pretty comfortable player on all mods. I was sort of expecting to here in its will do the trick just fine with roster. Some of the perfect stacks in this intro, though, gonna be striking out Darwin. A couple players to look out for the reading difficulty. It is a quick 3 misses on the cut streams. Easy Chalk Orange Juice falling to the wayside, but this intro is so difficult to access, and it is 3 FC up gift and an early combo advantage to boot for the opposing.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty confident for the side of Hippo Cup pretty early in, and a bit unfortunate to say the least, with the 3 misses on the side of matalisbaldspot very early in. But Jeffrey, I believe, the only player to hold on the combo through that intro.
Oh, is that a Birchman DC?
I'm not entirely sure.
Next time, Birchman, come back to us.
Surely.
Wait, Easy Chalk is also gone now. What? No, okay.
Oh, there's Easy Chalk.
Easy Chalk is back. Still no Birch. That
Sad
is
days.
not ideal.
Not in the slightest. We don't know what Birchman's score is, but we hope it does get, you know, at least recorded, so we do see it in a moment when the map does end. But either way, for the players currently going on, we're seeing kind of no combos really to be seen anywhere, except from Hidden on Osu at 690 almost, and Skier at about 735. But the score lead, 16 million for matalisbaldspot, but not with Birchman's score possibly over in favor with Hippo Cup.
And it's Easy Chalk again with the delay. Bancho is really not a fan of Hippo Cup gift in the current moment, but everybody on the team except for Darwin is missing on the side of matalisbaldspot. He is holding on to an FC with zones. If Birchman has anything above a 6 million score at the moment, it's gonna be pretty even. Actually, 5 million as the but also down. I don't know if that's also Bancho. Like, this is turning out to be a deeply unfortunate turn of events for Hippo Cup gift. We started this map in pretty solid fashion.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone jinx it earlier saying that Bancho had started to behave a small bit this weekend, and now we're starting to see problems come in. So whoever cast us for that, I will not forgive you. But we are seeing a pretty scary 1v1 going on with the top corners there of Hidden on Osu versus Skier. The Skier does unfortunately find the miss as I go to mention it, which is not ideal whatsoever, especially with about 8 million score lead in favor of matalisbaldspot. But again, with the 2 scores not being tracked, it could be a lot closer than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, for all we know, like, Birchman could still be FCing, but realistically, that's the only scenario where Hippo Cup GIF are still in contention. It would take over 7 million score from both Birch and Easy Chalk on this one to make it happen. So we do have the proper MP. Both of those players did finish the map. Good news. That is the good news. Bad news is they did not win the map, if you are a fan of that team. Because Darwin closed out the reverse choke after the perfect stacks in the intro. And they won by the skin of their teeth, just a 2 million score difference.
Yeah, I mean, it was so close, and for an opening pick, losing on that, getting a very early breakpoint, not the best scenario to be in, not that early in anyway. But, it was still close enough to be, at least a contending fight. It was basically 1 mil difference, and about 1.4 mil difference, so, still relatively close, especially when you look at it being, score v1. So nothing too concerning for them early in, but again, would have been nice for them to have that point on the board to begin with. But it does seem that it's going to be opting for normal 5 immediately after. Am I getting pick bans wrong? Am I being clueless?
That was a matalisbaldspot pick.
I am being clueless. Coolio, never mind then. Forget everything I just said. I'm tired.
Yeah, this Snowmod 5, this is our CS5 AR8. It's a very old map. I believe a 2010 upload, 2018 love, if my memory
2017 loved.
Arg. And well, close enough. This one is going to be a mix of a couple different gimmicks. Of course, you have your standard AR8 reading. You have old-style wide-angle jumps, a couple of silly bursts in between at the mid-range BPM. But there's 2 wrinkles in it, in that there are no hit sounds on the beat map. So good luck if you kind of are good at that. And so 0% volume on your hit sounds, plus there are wiggle streams kind of littered throughout, especially in the middle of the map. So if you FC through the wiggles, you just kind of win, because everybody else is going to be exploding on them, I guarantee you.
Yeah, this map is just pretty much awkward in its nature, as far as I remember. I remember seeing this yesterday and making the misconception at the start that it seemed like it was going to be an easy map, and then the map started, and then it just was not. It's, I believe, 185 BPM when it comes to the tapping requirements of the map. With, again, the few streams here and there that are just kind of awkward. A lot of the awkward wide jumps style of old maps. Yeah, this map's just uncomfortable in its nature all the way through.
Just waiting for the pickups. I am really curious about this roster from Hippo Cup. Oh my, is JD in for this one? Like it. Yeah. In the 8th spot for the really unexpected turn for me. Rakic, strong mechanics player is what I know him. Filling the void. Up in 5. They are deep in it. How did we skip like 30 seconds ever?
Small bit of banter lag, but it is what it is. We're going to be seeing Hidden on Osu and KT09 running the Hiddens for the side of matalisbaldspot, and for the side of Hippo Cup GIF, we're seeing Steam Happy and Scale1 running the Hiddens. I'm not too surprised with those. As far as I'm aware, all the players on Hidden are relatively comfortable with it, so shouldn't be causing them too many major problems, but the approach around this map does not make that Hidden any easier. I mean, it's out 8. It feels like a Hidden 2, but it's Hidden 2 on old maps, so it can be sketchy at times if you're not too comfortable, but doesn't seem to be causing any major problems early in. But I think we did see an early miss from Steam Happy, which is not the best for their total score right now.
Oh, but the big chain miss. It's an over aim and over tap for Darwin. Maybe some looting hiccup. That is a massive break. If this was SV2, he'd be in for a bad time. But luckily, just the beginning of this very long pick, 5 minutes in length, he's starting them really quick. And the miss on the wide angle takes out 3 members on the side of matalisbaldspot, only rated by Skia. And at the break, they get to see their damage, seeing as it is just KT09 on the below 90% FC hold versus 3 members of Hippo Cup GIF, and they're gonna start running away with this, because getting on the map is the easiest part to go.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of running away with the score lead right now with the 2 full combos and a brilliant recovery on the side of Steam Happy versus KT09, just the one-man army against the world right now, just to try and keep their team in the game. And they do hold through those sliders, which are a lot harder to hold than you think because of the slider ticks in the most awkward position and the high velocity of them, but didn't seem to cause any major problems. Zimby, unfortunately, does go down, the same as Evernight, but it is traded out by Skia and Raikik. So shouldn't be too many major problems, but that's a major break from everyone, pretty much, other than Steam Happy.
Yeah, a little bit of intercambing method coming through for Steam Happy here. The wide angle jumps only hit by him. He missed in the beginning, but since then has made it work. That section as well, incredibly tricky. Overlap triples cannot be understated, especially with double right prior. But here's the wiggles. This is the main diff spike. There is another one incoming. That one was pretty spaced, but the one to come through. If Blue nails it, right in the middle, like CS10, no problem. Only player in the lobby to hold on to combo. And Lion with the backup, that is just the map, I think. There's no real way, but otherwise, matalisbaldspot to come back from this.
Yeah, they have to pretty much have like the 4-way full combo at this point, and everyone to break. And Steam Happy does go down, which is honestly a nice, a nice thing for them if they do start to bring those combos to the board. But again, it has to be entirety of Hippo Cup gifts to basically just have a catastrophe occur, have no combos on the board, and all of the players from matalisbaldspot to start comboing if they want to close that distance within the last third of the map. And I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be reasonably possible as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, this is a incredibly strong team score from Hippo Cup. Gonna be beginning to nail 9 million on their second player as Lion builds up this no-mod combo deeper into the map. Able to show off his chops of this iteration. Big triangle pattern. You see 50s and pin misses. But Zimby and Darwin staging a little bit of a coup here with this double 500 combo. But it is 2 combos to 3. Big advantage to him. They would need a triple break in like this section for it to mean anything, fortunately. They're just looking so comfortable towards the tail end of the map, and with that break from Zimby, just Darwin down. Lion, Skia, putting in work towards the tail end. Lion looking top match this map with this big 900 combo at the tail end. The diamond jumps, striking everyone out in the lobby. So what a team score from Hippo.
Yeah, I mean, bringing what, about for the ending, about 40 million team score for themselves is a very solid performance, and honestly does give you that confidence for them to pick into a lot more of these more weird maps and more abnormal maps, which we do have quite a few of, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely able to get a few points on the board with that confidence on these more gimmicky maps. And yeah, I mean, it does bring the match to 1-1, and I believe it will be matalisbaldspot pick next.
Opening up for both of these. Waiting. Flute happy he wiggle. I don't know. On hidden, it looks impossible because it just looks like invisible CS10. Like, like you're cheesing the wiggle on the second part. Like, unreal.
Yeah, and trying to figure out with hidden. Yeah, I just feel like that should be impossible, but yeah, I guess when you're comfortable with hidden, anything's possible. You can read something that isn't there, and you know what? I highly respect that, because that level of schizo is not something I could achieve.
Hidden kick.
Go for real.
With training maps, no mod 1 went deep in their favor, but that does sort of outline the pick strategy. Spot personally like to see HR. They're reluctant to tap into those deep because PTs, they feature a little bit of extra tapping difficulty, but that's not really what Hippo Cup GIF is like necessarily bad at. What they are slightly lacking, just the raw aim difficulty, or like CS difficulty that Rux can, the HR1. I feel like HR3 just going into some mid-range BPM stream is gonna be very consistent.
Yeah, I do feel like that is probably one of their best bets to go into, and I think with, again, what was said in general, picking into 3-3, maybe not the strongest possible idea right now. Picking into something else, though, definitely might be. I think 3-3 could work as a later pick for the side of the matalisbaldspot, but early in, maybe not a good risk, in my opinion, for it. But yeah, I do see, Hard Rock 3 being a solid idea for them. Even if they're scared to pick into DTs, maybe one of the DTs could be a shout. Maybe like the DT4, possibly? But other than that, right now, I'm not entirely sure what they would go for.
They're waiting to pick right now. Matalisbald. Finally, they do. It's struck 3. Lots of deliberation on what to pick.
And a bit of mental warfare going on in the chat, right? Trying to say they forfeit the pick when they've picked the Hard Rock 3 already. Interesting choice.
Might be bantered away. But,
yeah.
Paranoia. It's going to be some C-Mob style-ish low stamina patterns. It's not stamina in BPM, but it is stamina in terms of its relentless. It is just non-stop bursts and long streams through the whole thing. The flow aim difficulty, no real like spike in that. It's pretty consistent throughout in its pacing, but it's just having to do it so consistently for nearly 3 minutes. Plus, it's like 2k combo, I think. Just 2k combo in 3 minutes is no slouch. And on the Hard Rock, it's going to be a test of resolve with these rosters. I'm curious who hops in here. It is Horn Goose, Mr. Jeffrey Darwin as anticipated, but Evernight occupying the 4th spot currently may be in on this over Zimby, which would be pretty surprising. But Evernight in his own right, very strong tapping player, but it is going to be Zimby.
Yeah, I mean, this map, as you were saying, like the C-Mob kind of thing, yeah, I do kind of see it, but it reminds me more of those, like, you know those just tapping practice maps you get with just, like, 7-note streams constantly just going for, like, the entire drain length. That's kind of what this more reminds me of, and adding on the Hard Rock, that does kind of make this map a bit spooky, but I think the players in this lobby are going to be relatively comfortable on this, and I do think it might just end up being a battle of just random misses out of nowhere.
For this HR3, don't want to lose solve. All about a test of strength, major diff spikes, the map, but in we go. Constant flow stream, start here, ready up, combo and throwing. It's going to be one where the FCs are going to be worth so much because of how high the combos hit on this. It's a very early break from Mr. Jeffrey, but if you're gonna miss anywhere, earlier the better. I will mention I noticed his game being relatively more shaky than usual today, just generally, especially on that Nomad 1. There's lots of breaks there, and on this map I am seeing similar shakes in a way I'm not so fond of. It is Call Me Red to trade it, luckily for matalisbaldspot, but that cursor is not one that is showing consistency. It is a secondary break from Zimby, though, to put Hippo Cup GIF in the 3FC jump.
Yeah, the caster shake's not looking too inspiring, but hopefully they do eventually start to resolve, as we are getting to almost the first side of the map being done, and a pretty significant lead already to the side of Hippo Cup GIF, as we're not actually getting to the halfway point of the combo just yet. I believe we will be there just about now, getting to the halfway point, as the map doesn't really give you a stop, and Jeffrey does unfortunately find another miss, and Zimby's actually on a pretty solid recovery against that 450 combo mark, as Indiana does unfortunately find a miss, which is going to give a bit of a chance there towards matalisbaldspot, especially with the recovery coming in. Ooh. And Skier going down, that does make things a bit scary now for the side of Hippo Cup, as you know, that score lead is going to start declining pretty quickly. It's only on Rykick to be the only remaining player for that side to be on that full combo. And you can see that score lead does start to flip over, especially as Hidden on O2 and On Goose are both holding on to those full combos. And speaking of that, Hidden on O2 accuracy right now looking very, very strong, to say the least. Same with right kick.
Yeah, pulling in work has been Darwin in this matchup, actually overperforming Orange Juice and Zimby on the maps that he has played thus far alongside them. Really strong stuff continuing here as this double FC. There against Raikic, who has the 99.7, and if a break were to occur in this section, there's enough combo remaining at the end of the map to claw back the 6 million on that FC alone with the backing combos, but it is all for naught so long as these FCs continue to hold, and the one, you are fully at the behest of matalisbaldspot in the current moment. 99% FC about to be locked in for Darwin on the hidden Hard Rock. 90 million teams for nothing to scoff at. Phenomenal stuff for matalisbaldspot as they.
Yeah, bringing in those double FCs does help them a significant amount. Just showing that, when it comes to those more mechanics things, especially on the tapping mechanics, they are just pretty confident as well, and just aren't really going to give away too many free moments there for this side of Hippo Cup, as they had right kick there holding on as long as possible, but they didn't have enough to be held on. In the end, as unfortunate break, pretty much in the smack bang middle of the map, is really unfortunate for those combo scores. Is again, Score V1, it does end up combo scaling quite a significant amount, and a miss in the middle is unfortunately fatal in this scoring system. So it is unfortunate with that being the placement of the misses, but for matalisbaldspot, I mean, you couldn't have it timed better, and it does get them that second point pretty calmly.
Apologies for that. I forgot it's my job to sing music now. But
My new streamer.
Oh, don't. This will not be a regular occurrence, I believe me. But with regards to the next pick, Hippo Cup gift, looking at this, well, Free Mod 1's still available. That super skill diffed AR8 density map. The issue with picking that is suddenly matalisbaldspot has the luxury of going Hard Rock, which leagues and bounds easier than a modern hidden. So it is a bit of a gambit in its own way, whether or not they're going to play it without that Hard Rock. But Nomad pool filled with control and alt heavy map. Nomad 3, Nomad 4, Nomad 6, all in that sort of alt realm that Hippo Cup gift can go for. And they're going to go for the most accessible of those options first, with Let Mom Sleep as the pick.
Yeah, going into long sliders, if I remember correctly, long slider kind of tech map with just, yeah, again, long sliders across the entire screen, some of them being in the very corners of the screen. Just a lot of, again, it's just kind of expecting a normal 4 category. It's just a lot of sliders. And a few aim sections let about between them, but it's going to be holding on combo through those long sliders. That is going to be a bit of a problem if you're not careful or not aware of them. And a lot of fast sliders as well that are in awkward shapes. So that's basically what's going to be in store for these players on this map. And it's going to be intriguing to see where the combos are really going to be built for this kind of map.
Yeah, in theory, I mean, that is the interesting thing about the control and alt maps in the mod pool. Like, 2 out of the have that slider difficulty embedded into them. Looking at the bans from matalisbaldspot, both of those Hard Rock slider tech, an adjacent skill set. Lower CS of Hard Rock coincided with it, but you do still have to deal with some of the slider aim here. There is a massive choke point on this around the 800-900 combo with some of the sliders where you don't have to what is it? You can't really cheat them. Like, you have to actually somewhat aim the bus sliders. If you're not quick enough, it's incredibly easy to slice that combo around it. So you gotta watch out for that. Roster's inbound. It's KTO9 Orange win versus Skip Birchman, Flute, and Call Me Red. Hidden's likely to be on Flute and Kia. Darwin, KTO. So it is left column and top row, respective team spots. Hop straight into it.
Yeah, getting ready for this No Mod 4. Just slider hell, and you can see it pretty much just from the get-go with some of these slider shapes. It's more Minecraft helmet slider shapes as I want to consider them, as I don't really have any other descriptive for it. And Steam Happy and Birchman both finding unfortunate misses very early in, but as we mentioned on the last map, if you want misses, you want them to be this early, just so you have time to build those combos. And KT09 and Zimby and Steam Happy all find misses themselves again, so already so early into the map, not even 200 combo in, and it is just 2 full combos to 2 full combos on each side.
Oh, it's just a banter break from Zimby. It's just 2 in this bit of an blood spot, but that one might have been real. Here we go with the slider tick into our first PI. These long sliders don't really have to aim all that wiggly stuff. Just look for the dot. That slider tick is the key to success, and both of the players did not aim at that time. They tried aiming the slider proper and missed the slider tick. So it is no FCs on the side of matalisbaldspot. And Calmly Red, they're darndest on this double FC. Are just going to start to run away with it, because that 400 combo mark is just about a third of the map. And still, yeah, 2 million difference now. Continuing to grow for Hippo Cup Gift in what is a very strong second pick.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking very confident on this stuff. Having 2 full combos on the board, both on relatively high accuracies, not even relatively high, sorry, both on very high accuracies, 98.45 and 99 respectively on this map is pretty disgusting to look at. I mean, you look at these players and you see them playing this, and it's, you wonder yourself, how do you hold through these sliders so calmly? And that's the question I'm mostly asking, because holding to 700 combo now at this point is just crazy work to me. And you look at the other side of matalisbaldspot, they are now on the recovery. They're both, you know, their highest combo now is at a 400 mark, but it is matched by Birchman and Steam Happy on the recovery, and Orngoose unfortunately does go down. And Zimby also being caught off guard by these longer sliders, just catching everyone if they're not careful. And it's now eyes most on Call Me Red and Skier to see if they can hold the full combo throughout to the ending.
Yeah, still just those 2 players. Birchman to find some cheap breaks in there, but still Call Me Red. See, here's that choke point I was telling you about around this combo section. Bit of control patterning. That buzz slider, there it is, the 8-way break. Birchman, the only player to hold. What a buzz slider. This is a ranked map, by the way.
Oh, that's elite, yeah. Ranked map with that kind of buzz slider? Yes, say no more. I don't even know how I was supposed to hold through it, but then again, Birchman did manage to get through it, but unfortunately did find the break just before, unfortunately, but other than that, no major problems from the rest of the players, and a just outstanding performance there from the side of Hippo Cup Gift, especially on Call Me Red and Skier with such strong combos on the first 3 quarters of the map.
Yeah, everyone is at different parts of the map. I don't know what happened to the Bancho. What a beautiful thing. Zimby disconnected, but it didn't matter because the gift threaded with that double. We'll call it a double FC because I've never hit the buzz slider before in any of my runs. So I don't know. It is hittable, but I'm not going to count it against them because it does feel incredibly gamble. Solid performance for Hippo Cup, as they tie it up 2-2. Back over to matalisbaldspot side, and like the strategy mechanics.
Yeah, and speaking of going to the mechanics, I mean, the 3-mod-3 is still on the table, still an option, but again, I have to keep mentioning it, it does feel like a bit of a gamble when Skier has just not long ago set a hidden FC on it, so again, 3-mod-3 still feels like it's a bit too gambly for them to go into, but it's still a very strong bet. I mean, I do say about, you know, Skier having the score, but having one major player on the score is scary, but I also feel like Birchman can get a good score on it if I'm not mistaken, and the players from Hippo Cup can as a whole, but it does seem they want to opt into it either way. I mean, again, they've been strong on mechanics. They won the Hard Rock 3. They've been winning pretty much mostly on it, so they do want to opt into it either way. Going to the O2 World Cup 2023 Hard Rock map, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see how this goes, because I mean, I'm expecting at least Skier to set a good score on this, but then again, having just set a good score before match might actually add a bit more of more inconsistency, more nerves maybe to the expectation of their score for this pick. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, because I mean, I think it was a quote from Karcher, you can practice map as much as you need to, but don't practice to the point of full combo. because you likely won't get it in match because of it.
Yeah, and we're gonna start seeing some of the roster depth come through from matalisbaldspot here. I would imagine use Evernight and Mr. Jeffrey. I'm assuming Evernight popping in. Really raw shredder for the matalisbaldspot team, popping in and out of the respective channels. So he is bound, very least. Pick up gift. This, oh no, in comparison to raw flowing, this feels much more competitive because you look on the other side, you see who, proof is in the pudding, he can play this map. I don't know how consistent the score is because the accuracy is not so, but you see the other three roster, Birchman, Ikic, Diana, both of the left column players in Birchman and Diana, 4WC tapping roster members, but actually hopping out for Mike JD, who is hopping in for this match.
Yeah, I believe making their first appearance this match.
Yeah, which is shocking that we're seeing them in for the first time on the speed map when, like, I know them as sort of a hybrid kind of reading player. So, like, the crazy turn of events, but SJD hopping in again and not feeling the sauce time around. It's going to be Zimby over for the tapping.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Hidden on also actually opting for the Hidden Hard Rock, and I believe the only Hard Rock player of this map so far, so which is going to be interesting. We did see Hard Rocks on this yesterday, but the scores did get a bit inconsistent. Inskier does find early misses, hopefully only tactical misses and not some major breaks. But we see, quite a wide break there coming from Hidden on Osu, Evernight and Skier all missing pretty much the same section. Same as Jeffrey, and early confidence is looking like it's going to go to the side of Hippo Cup Gift, as they are going to be holding those 3 full combos on the intro, compared to matalisbaldspot only relying now on Zimby on this intro in the first quarter of the map.
Yeah, that is a terrifying triple break here, and Darwin really testing the limits here with this hidden hard rock, I think. I guess the density matter, but this map is only AR 9 point, not tremendously dense. He's hidden on a handful of players. A Hippo Cup gift. The accuracy drop from Zimby is a little bit scary, being as he's the only FC remaining. The last beacon of hope for matalisbaldspot to avoid a breakpoint. But this is a scary outing as that slider break on the first section. Darwin still tapping away. And Zimby on the perfect stack. It's 2 recovery combos for Evernight and Mr. Jeffrey. 100 off of the FC, but continuing to grow is this, as it is just 2 FC, the 2 FC, and recovery combos. With that break from Mr. Jeffrey traded my Mize JD, it's in theory a net gain from matalisbaldspot, but the potential score is just not there. Only 2 minutes of map in this, and oh my god, that is a 4-way break on the top row. Zimby only player holding on to combo, but it's all for nothing as the score difference already 18.
Yeah, I mean, all of the full combos are gone, and it was a 4-way break as well since that Hippo Cup gift pretty much about 200 combo ago. But yeah, I mean, I did keep mentioning this map did feel like it'd be a bit too much of a gamble to go into, and Iskia, even though not pulling out the full combo or as close as they might have been hoping for on it, it was still a very solid score, only about 500 combo away from it, and the entire team basically is sitting around that mark of 900 combo to 1000 combo. It was just, it felt like too much of a gamble to go into this map, but they still wanted to opt for it, and Hippo Cup do actually get the first breakpoint of the match going for that 3-mod-3, a team that are going to be strong on the gimmick side of maps, and they just went out on the mechanics map too.
Yeah, going for this, I feel like a lot of matalisbaldspot edge in the match, or not necessarily in the mechanics. And with matalisbaldspot picking the less spaced, ready, that was a massive disadvantage. matalisbaldspot is Hippo Cup gift. They got some shredders on that roster. Now they still have a bulk of picks. What was that? 55, I wouldn't be shocked to come through with that old style flow aim Kirby mix. World is the oyster in the current. They try to consolidate that first.
Yeah, as long as they don't trade off the breakpoint, they should be in a pretty comfortable position. But it's going to be interesting to see what they go for next. Because again, yeah, as you mentioned, they still have quite a few maps on the table, quite a few of those no mods remaining, and I'm wondering what they go into. And they're actually going to be opting for no mod 3, going into Pandora's Box, and this is going to be an interesting pick, because opening Pandora's Box usually seen as a bad idea for a lot of people, but this map, I think, does sit pretty comfortably in their ability to, their overall team ability, with just a lot of ult, a lot of flowing patterns, if I'm not mistaken, and quite a comfortable BPM overall, about 167 BPM, so nothing too out of the comfort range. I think this map is more of an aim consistency test more than anything.
This is a really tricky one to nail down. The Air 9.8 on this map, really dense fake alts. So it's high SR in terms of the beat map, as well as that dense difficult. It's a really hard map to act. I think having won that no mod full, which is decent skill set, Hippo Cup GIF are fully in the driver's seat like this.
Yeah, I mean, this map is definitely one of the maps I think they can get that momentum off of. They can definitely build momentum if they do play well on this map. And honestly, if they play well on this No Mod 3, it does open up a few more maps. If I'm not mistaken, No Mod 2 not being banned, this map could open up to that, because I would argue the flowing intensity of this is quite decent chunk harder than No Mod 2 is. And No Mod 2s are usually your flowing map, so it would be interesting to see if that was be something they maybe opt into. But again, picking mechanics into a mechanics team usually would feel a bit risky, but after 3 Mod 3, honestly, anything feels possible at this point.
Roster is in, but I'm surprised it is Evernight in place of. That is a really shocking roster change. Given Orange Goose is one of the better control players in the but yeah, this roster, I mean, I guess we'll see what Evernight's got loaded in the gun, but this is a really shocking switch up to me, as you're already seeing the comfort level is not really there.
Yeah, I mean, this map is pretty difficult to be comfortable on as it is, but yeah, this comfortable is not the ideal that you'll normally be looking for, especially when you're trying to get a breakpoint back after an unfortunate giveaway on that 3 Mod 3. And early in, I was going to say it's only Zimby really to be the one holding on, but even they have gone down, and it's now Skier to be, I believe, the only full combo in Steam Happy, very, very close behind them, about 20 combo behind them.
Yeah, they are, I mean, like, basically down a player. I'll be blunt. They're down a player with Evernight in the lobby right now. He is not comfortable on this at all. It is KT09 holding on to the highest combo on their team, but with Steam Happy breaking with the KT09 trade, it's all eyes on Skia for the most part, who is absolutely playing this on the 98.8.
Yeah, and if I'm not actually mistaken, Skia, I believe, is 1v2ing right now. An unfortunate break there, which is not going to help with the combo too much, but yeah, about 500k ahead of team score from him there, but now overall being caught up. Yeah, this is not looking like a very ideal scenario for matalisbaldspot. I am, yeah, very intrigued to see why they didn't opt to have Mongoose in, especially on this kind of map, but I mean, with all of those players being in the VC at once, and none of them deafened, and probably all having a conversation mid-map, maybe just going for the vibes, go for a bit more fun, while trying to also go for the win. Just interesting choices going on overall for this match, but Tommy Red is on a pretty solid recovery right now, against that 700 combo mark, and just overall, just playing quite well. I believe has the highest individual score now, just now overtaking Skio, who also unfortunately found a miss, but it's Zimby on their tail, trying to keep them in the game, but it's, you know, double the score from inside a Hippo Cup gift, so they're going to be having quite an uphill battle on this last half.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a phenomenal gift. Holding on to that recovery is Plute on the back end with the hidden mod, also passing Skia in 1 and 2. punch. And I mean, there's some every matalisbaldspot, but as I mentioned it every time, they all explode. So I feel like I should pay less attention to it and more focus on Call Me Red's incredible recovery score. It's the big star pattern. That is unreal. And I mean, that pretty much confirms the victory. 1.1k combo, and Call Me Red is having a bit of a match here.
Yeah, and now Call Me Red is the player holding on a 1 versus 2. Call Me Red at about 14 million score independent, and the entirety of matalisbaldspot sitting under 13 million right now. You could get rid of Steam App, you could get rid of Mize, you could get rid of Skier, and they would still be in the lead, which is a terrifying thought, but that is what happens when you go into score v1 and you're playing a combo scaling match.
Yeah, this is... I mean, I can't look away. This is a phenomenal performance. 20 million on the solo for Call Me Red. At the tail end, a couple sliders to go, and that will be that. Dora's box opened by Call Me Red. Fortunately, not because he left the lobby immediately. Stop doing that, at player.
Let us see the scores, please!
But like, whatever, I assume it's a 2-miss. That's my guess. That's my lock of the week. Actually, I have the MP open. It was a 2-miss. Oh my god, I'm a prophet.
What a guess. Yo, actually soul reading out here. Yo, fair enough.
Respect player list Evernight.
Yeah, I rate it.
Well, back over to matalisbaldspot. Hopefully they're locking in a little bit more after that downfall.
Yeah, now being a breakpoint behind, they are not going to be in the best positions known to man. They do have to start fighting a bit harder than they were before, and it's going to be a turnaround needed and a bit of a prayer needed for their side, because I'm confident they can win on their own pick, even though it is dwindling down a small bit. The amount of available maps dwindling down, but it's when it comes to trying to get that breakpoint back, I feel like they're going to need a bit of a prayer, because they have players that are going to be capable on a lot of those maps, but the strength that Hippo Cup Gift are showing right now is pretty unfightable almost on their own picks.
Yeah, and I'm really thinking about DT1, I'm thinking about No Mod 2, I'm thinking about Mod 2. Actually, no, that'd be a curious pick because of the density difficulty. Like, I don't know, they are running out quickly. I feel like No Mod 2 is the safest, but they are going for that free mod too, and I thought it would be a good pick, like maybe later down the line, but that's more due to a lack of options than anything else, because you look at the league map and it's just filled with every defenker in OC. Like, like every 4-digit player that, like, under the sun, you're just gonna see them on this leaderboard.
Like, let me just read out the top 10 players on this map for you real quick. Number 1 being Malashevsky, followed by Zany, Alfie, Pikapon, Ethan Tricks, Jack Pax, Aza, Eddie, Desk, and Mitchney. And then Call Me Red right there in 11th place. This is a map that, personally, I would not opt to go into against Hippo Cup Gift, but maybe an option of all time. Maybe just trying to send a Hail Mary, because, you know, they need a breakpoint on the table to try and even out this match. And if they can win on something like this, they definitely prove to themselves a breakpoint's possible, but they are risking losing another one themselves. So it's a bit of a risky game going into this, but maybe an option. But after seeing what happened on that No More 3, I wouldn't be too confident on the matalisbaldspot for this map right now.
And this is a map, like, hopefully Orange Goose is actually back. Like, get him in the lobby, because he is actually one of the better Hardbox squads. He is sitting at a heart number 9, as is Call Me Red, who is also in the lobby and likely to be taking mod. And there is Orange Goose. It will be competitive, as well as Bungwon hopping in the lobby. I'm surprised not to way up his alley, since 8 40 BPM 6 tap stamina for the most part. It is constant aims, constant triples, awkward aim that you would normally see in a hidden one. Catered to probably gonna be hidden Darwin, Hard Rock on, as well as hidden on Scazzo and Hard Rock on Red.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see if people do opt in for the no mod as well, though, because if there are players that opt in for the no mod, I would probably slap it on the most consistent players on this kind of map, and I'd argue to be players obviously with the most practice, and I feel like Call Me Red could definitely be one of those options. But it will be interesting to see what they do opt in for. Bang Wang, I believe, making their first appearance in this match as well. But yeah, for the mods wise, we're looking at Hidden on Osu and, well, Hidden on Osu being the only hidden player for the side of matalisbaldspot, with Hard Rock coming in for Zimby and Orngoose, and then Hidden being opted for Skier and Hard Rock for Rychik, while the other two players, Visa Chop and Call Me Red, opting for the no mods.
Yeah, 2 no mods out of if mod advantage matalisbaldspot in the instant 4-way FC. But this is just like not that stage anymore, right? The 4-way FC you're gonna see very commonly in previous stages, but this stage is like a full SR in difficulty higher. Like, it is unreal how hard this pool is, and already you're starting to see some of the cracks come into fruition. Wreckage with the first break on the Hard Rock on Hippo Skip. This early combo before that Ki is where you want to bolster up as much as you can. First 500, 600 combo or so, you'd need to hold on to for a raw advantage. Right now, already about a 700 advantage to matalisbaldspot, and it's just well prior to our Ki div spike. Mix of the flow and snap difficulty, the triples starting to now 3 FCs make it 2 FC, 4 still held in our first third, and now it is time for the section.
Yeah, I mean, an unfortunate miss coming from Call Me Red just before this section is a bit weird, but Claire seems to be holding on pretty comfortably as the map does start to get a bit more awkward. The triangles are actually kind of coming out of nowhere, but no one finds the brakes on them just yet. But Zimby is first player on the matalisbaldspot to go down, Hidden on Osu to follow close behind, and then Hung and Orngoose, all 4 players inside of the matalisbaldspot falling apart, as so does the same for Hippo Cup GIF. I mean, Rykick, Skier, and Easy Chalk all finding the breaks, but Call Me Red, to no one's surprise, it actually does start to hold on. The comfort from this map starting to appear a small bit for them, as they are pretty experienced on this kind of map, and the breaks are starting to become more and more frequent during this map as the difficulty does kind of start to peak a bit. But it seems to be just Call Me Red to hold on comfortably right now.
Yeah, this is an unreal performance from Call Me Red right now, as all the combos keep on dropping on matalisbaldspot. It is just them in the driver's seat with recovery combos from Skier and Easy Chalk. This is done, right? Like, Bungling needs to FC the rest of the map and pray they get 2 breaks on the side of Hippo Cup GIF for this to go back to their side, because right now, that was such a massive fall apart after the Ki. The Hippo Cup GIF are fully capitalizing on it. It's an 800k difference going. Another break from Bungling, and every combo on matalisbaldspot is under 300, and that is just completely swamped by these recoveries. Call Me Red would be on a 1 slider break, well, 1 slider break, 1 miss right now, if not for the earlier slider break prior to that Ki. Only player in the lobby to hold on to the Ki, and only player to hold on to that back end combo. The reason why Hippo Cup GIF take back the point fully leads into his lap is a 4 million difference by the tail end, a clawback for another break point on Hippo Cup GIF. In the driver's seat firm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised with Red managing to hit arguably the hardest part of the map. Actually, not even arguably, did manage to hit the hardest part of the map again. One of the probably most experienced players when it comes to this map in particular. But yeah, that is a really bad position for matalisbaldspot to be in now, because that's another breakpoint on the table. And you know, Hippo Cup GIF are now only 2 points away from ending the match, 1 map away from guaranteeing tiebreaker at the very least, and matalisbaldspot, only with 2 points on the board, are just in a very, very uncomfortable position now. A few missed picks, and this is the result that you get into.
I mean, they've won the Nomad 4 and Nomad 3 back-to-back. In my head, it's just like, go Nomad 6, finish the trifecta, and for match point. It's a fairly clear-cut pick, unless, like, for some reason they're not over any... They're gonna go for free mod 1 instead, for that other density mod pick. Likely to see Hard Rocks come to LBR1, maybe exception hidden on... But... This is a pick that Hippo Cup Gift are going to be pretty strong on, given how the previous control maps.
Yeah, and I mean, this map, you usually see it with the lower diffs being on DT for a DT2, but when you go to the higher diffs and you look at this map without DT, this map just becomes evil. There are so many awkward ult patterns, so many awkward control patterns throughout this entire map, and it is so difficult to hold those combos. We've seen this being played yesterday again, and the players that can hold combo through those diff spikes usually just single-handedly winning out the point for their team, and it's not even too surprising because, again, holding the combos, especially that midsection on this map, does just become so brutal if you're not careful. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. This is going to be favored towards Hippo Cup Gift, again, with their dominant performance they've been showing on these more awkward maps and these more controlling maps, and this map, I think, just does scale it to absolutely 11 with that difficulty, and it's not looking too ideal from the matalisbaldspot, but hey, maybe they do pull out a shocking upset performance and do manage to bring out something crazy here.
Seems like everyone in the lobby is taking a mod, which is sort of alluding to the hard rocks on a number of these players. Bungwung, I know. A big fan of the Hard Rock alt maps. Darwin, like a Hidden Hard Rock. Orange Goose in the lobby, HR only kind of vibe. But on Hippo Cup Gift, given the players in the lobby, I think Lion and Skia might go double hidden.
No, but we get a double hidden only. No shot. Not on this map. Surely not, right?
I would be shocked, but Lion is a very strong reading player, and he did like nearly FC that Nomad 5 Nomad. Maybe he plays Nomad in this, but I think everyone in the lobby is mod. I don't really unsure where. But in theory, based on how that Nomad 5 went, how every alt map is fairly confident, as it is Lion on the non-modded player.
Yeah, I'm looking at this mod combination, and I am confused. I mean, KTG and Ski are both opting for the hidden only on this map, where pretty much everyone's been opting for the hard rock. Is definitely an option, to say the least, and Lion opting for the no mod was not to be expected. Well, was to expected, as you were mentioning, they're probably going to be a bit comfortable on it, but looking at the map on paper, not to be expected to see a no mod from pretty much anyone. But again, maybe the comfort just being there, just not wanting to risk the hard rock if they can guarantee a good no mod score. And you do get a bit of a chill intro, right? This intro, nothing too much. You get to kind of ease yourself into it, get used to the kind of map you get ready for, get used to the approach rate. But then the map does kind of start to kick in a few of the squares to kind of show you what this map teases you. It teases you a bit. We do see a triple miss coming in from Skier Line and KT09, which is going to be a bit unfortunate for Side Hippo Cup, as they now only have the 2 full combos versus the 3 on the side of matalisbaldspot.
Yeah, the triple section significantly harder on hard rock, or easier on hard rock. The lack of density. Personally, on hidden, I just cheese those squares, but it is Darwin to find that next break a little bit later than those initial double breaks from the side of Hippo Cup Gift, and here's where it's all starting to fall apart a little bit. It's Bungwung telling me red to trade. Lion and Skia on the recoveries to match KT09. It is currently just an unchecked recovery combo from Skia, as Raikic is matching Orange Goose on the Hard Rock FC. This first 800 combo so far is the easier section of the map, and with Orange Goose Final FC down from matalisbaldspot, finally the coin has flipped back in Hippo Cup's favor. They were the expected favorite going into this map, but Raikic holding on tight with this Hard Rock FC, 97% is no slouch either. Highest combo in the lobby, as you see a final fall apart before our second half. It's Raikic Skia top row, players to look out for. matalisbaldspot starting to get caught in the limelight as they are running away with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have Darwin and Wang and KT starting to get those recovery combos being brought up, but maybe the overall team combo maybe being helped a bit, but Darwin unfortunately going down, followed by Bung immediately after, so that recovery isn't going to be there, unfortunately, for side. KT is still on a solid combo there with a hidden, but it is being checked by Skier and Raikik, so they're just going to be continuing to build that score lead, and mainly the eyes going to be on Raikik at this point, going through these awkward triple sections that can be quite difficult to combo through, and these cut moments are so easy to break on, but not for Raikik. Unfortunately, being caught out on the very end of it, but so much damage is already done. 11 million, and there's no combos on side of the matalisbaldspot to try and answer back or to fight up against, you know, that 11 million score difference.
Yeah, what a performance from KTO9, Raikik, and Kia, getting all above that 11 million marker. Raikik up to 18 million. That is a 1v2 based on the scores presented from matalisbaldspot. And that ending is just like such a difficult part of the map. The big pain miss coming through a number of these players. Call me red with that backing recovery score. Phenomenal stuff on the side of Hippo Cup Gift, and valiant way to their match points. Only one more to close it out from here on out. matalisbaldspot, if they want to make it the tiebreaker, need to play a perfect game.
Yeah, and that is going to be so much easier said than done against Team like Hippo Cup Gift, who, I mean, don't get me wrong, the maps have started to dwindle down, but there are still more than enough awkward maps on the table, and it's going to get a bit more sketch as the match continues, especially if, you know, there are points to be made for matalisbaldspot. It is going to be their pick. They still have the options to pick into pretty much the entire DT pool, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we've seen a DT yet.
Picked at all. The only map with interaction was the DT2 ban. So, oh, thank you, Bancho, just in case. Beautiful piano. Yeah, I don't know. With matalisbaldspot being here, they kind of have to pick the DTs, right? Like, they're out of mechanics maps and every other mod pool. Roots was really close. They almost got there. It was just the tail end. But it's a no mod 2. This is a map I forgot was here, despite it being a custom tournament. Beautiful Y Schwarz. This is XL D-Cell streams. The no mod 2 was Hard Rock 3 was matalisbaldspot's first pick, and was a very strong one at that. So looking to try and click the switch with a little bit of flow aim effort on their side.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like such a 50-50 map, right? Because you look inside of matalisbaldspot, they won pretty comfortably on that Hard Rock 3, if I'm not mistaken, but then look at Hippo Cup Gift when it came to the more difficult flow aim on that no mod 3, and they won that, not even just decisively, they won it one-sidedly with just a single player of Call Me Red 1v4ing, so it's definitely interesting to see what goes on for this no mod 2, and this one can feel very 50-50 if I'm not mistaken, because again, yeah, the 190 tapping definitely goes favor to matalisbaldspot, but the flow aim goes towards Hippo Cup Gift, and it's just going to be seeing who can hold on through those Excel D-cells.
Is really tricky, as well as the 1/3 section in that second half. It's sort of like Euphoria in that way, where it's like you get the XLD cell stream, and then you get like happy 1/3 in this quick 2-minute section, and it turns into a really volatile map in that regard. But the roster lobby is a surprising one. It is Darwin, Goose, Mr. Jeffrey, and Evernight in that final slot. Would have expected him to be here, given how he's been playing through, but good luck with that. Foster on the other side. Shock hopping in for the second map of the match. His first one was that Hard Rock 3, so looking to on the no mod.
Yeah, just getting back to try and prove their ability on these mechanics maps. I mean, we're seeing, yeah, the Jeffrey, Ongoose, Evernight, Hidden on Osu roster from matalisbaldspot. Not too surprising, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Evernight, I believe it is going to be swapping out. Yeah, swapping out for Zimby. That's the more expected player for this kind of map. But we've seen Evernight on a few of these maps, so again, it wouldn't be too surprising again. And then for the side of Hippo Cup gift, we have Ride Kick, Birchman, Easy Chop, and Skier1. Just, you know, 3 players that have been pretty much a core set team for the side of Hippo Cup, and then Easy Chop, who has been almost there again for the Hard Rock 3, the closest map to this map. So, again, not too surprising on the overall rosters, and the No Mod 2 gets to start. It's a short map, and a lot of time to find a lot of breaks, and quite combo dense, if I'm not mistaken. And we're seeing Birchman, Skier opting for the Hidden, and I believe it will be Jeffrey and Hidden on Osu for the Hidden, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, seeming fairly confident on this one is the matalisbaldspot, but Hippo Cup gift momentum firmly on their side. They've won the last 6 points in a row. Looking to do it all the same. It's a couple early breaks from matalisbaldspot. Make it a third as Mr. Jeffrey overeating the entire streak. That is a super tragic thing there, but a quick panic about the mods. I do believe it is hidden on Mr. Well, whoopsie daisy there, but Hidden's going to be on Skia and Birchman on the other side, and still the 3-way FC to the double recovery is actually a little bit of an easy combo situation. Oh wait, no, that's still a triple FC. The package was a venture break. So, still firmly in the driver's seat is Hippo Cup gift. Easy Talk, only player to miss on their side again. Double break is not helping things. Zimby and Orangoose doing their best, but again, it is a go until that. You'd still need both the FC all on Hippo, I believe. But this potential, regardless of that act drop, it is just on the FC and recovery combo from Zimby now. And unfortunately, Zimby first to miss. I think that is just the match deciding miss there. Rakic and Skia have had an absolute phenomenal performance, and still looking to make a run of it in our 1/3 section. Final thing barring them from the FC on this map.
Yeah, they're just holding them comfortably. I mean, as I was saying before the map started, right? That you look at the No Mod 3 and you look at that comfort they had on the overall awkward flowing. I mean, it's not too surprising they were going to be continuing to be confident throughout this. And, you know, the Hard Rock 3 being the test of the 190 ability, being slightly faster at 195. Them bringing out the 99s here as well is just, you know, icing on the cake for their comfort on it. And Ongoose does put out a, you know, a strong score to try and fight back, but unfortunately isn't enough, as Hippo Cup gift do win out the match. And unfortunately for matalisbaldspot, only finding 2 points on the board before losing. It's unfortunate, but it is GG's, and I can tell all the players have fun despite that all of them are still in the same PC.
Oh yeah, and I think an interesting stat dimension in this pool, most matches were 7-1 to 7-3. In this one, there was a lot of 7-2. Only one match avoided that fate, and it was the Irishman versus Z10A D-Rank packs, which went 7-5. But that is about as close as it got this week. Most matches fairly one-sided, so going to be interesting to see how close things get now that the teams are a little bit more closely aligned in the skill ranges in future rounds. But this has been the final match of the weekend, and I do believe we have one up in the
map pool showcase coming up very soon, guys. Very soon. As usual, we're going to restart the stream real quick. It'll be down for maybe a minute or two, and then semifinals map pool showcase. Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.
Goodbye!